Welcome back to Cup of CelebriTEA.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. How do you feel
Well,
about today's topic and episode?
I am excited. I actually am, just because, there's just she just gives us so much to talk about.
She does. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Would you like to give away who we are talking about? Even though it's going to be in the title, but still.
She has a birthday coming up, and we are dedicating this episode to her, and that is Miss Kimberly Kardashian. I just realized I don't even know how old she's turning.
I think she's turning 41.
Woo!
Yeah, because I think last year she turned 40, so this year she should be 41.
My mom told me, like, for her, life started at 40, and I feel like the 40s for Kim is just going to be a new chapter.
Totally. It's going to be a decade that I want my 30s to be like.
I guess let's get into it. Where do we start with Kim? From the beginning?
From the very beginning. Okay. So I just have so much unnecessary information on her. I just know so much about her because I find her very interesting and entertaining in a lighter manner. Like, of course, she's involved in scandals and drama all the time, but when it comes to interviews, it's quite refreshing from the reality TV persona she puts on and the hate that she gets. So I've watched a lot of her interviews and I was able to develop so much information because I just know so much about her shamelessly. Okay, let's get started. So, of course, let's talk about when she was born because her birthday's coming up. She was born October 21st,
Yes.
1980. And did you know that Amber Rose is also born on October 21st?
Does that mean they're in the cusp then?
They are Libras. How dare you?
Okay, but it's a cusp, right? It's a cusp between Libra and a Scorpio.
I think the cusp is around the 22nd, 23rd.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're very, very, very late Libras, but Libras indeed. And Amber is younger than Kim by like a couple years. And I just find it so interesting that Kanye dated both of them. He was engaged to Amber Rose and then he became married to Kim and now they're going through a divorce. But let's just go through the timeline as it should. So she was born in LA. She's the second child of Robert Kardashian and Kris Jenner, with Kourtney being the oldest and the first. And she went to an all-girls high school. And one thing I found interesting that when it was like her 20th high school reunion, she like rented a party bus for all of her friends. But before she did that, she went through memory lane. And guess who she had a picture of in her binder?
I don't know why, but this name is coming to mind. Is it Nichole Richie?
Yes, Nichole's definitely was in there because they've been friends since like they were young because they're family friends. But no, it was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh my god, wait, what?
I know. So random. I wonder if she would ever talk about like how they knew each other, but
That's
she went to an all-girls school, so there's no way they met at school. So that's an interesting tidbit because as you like kind of like go into Kim's history, you find out she's been well connected. Like her family didn't just come out of nowhere. They've always had friends in higher places.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving forward, obviously, like we know the last name Kardashian because of Robert Kardashian, of course. He was the attorney for O.J. Simpson. And did you know O.J. Simpson is Kim's godfather?
Yes. T.
I know. So, in 2017, she was being interviewed by Jennifer Lawrence because she was doing it for Jimmy Kimmel. And Jennifer asked him, like, do you think he did it? And she's like, no, like, I'm not going to say anything just because I know, like, his kids are going to watch this and I just don't want to say anything. But then last weekend, she hosted SNL and she actually made a joke about the O.J. Simpson trial. So
And that was kind of epic for her to do that. Like, who would have thought she would touch on that subject? Because I feel like that is so, like, taboo in their families to even talk about it. But I mean, she did end it with like, "Oh, I still don't know" or something, who did it or whatever. But I mean, just for her to take a stab at, I mean, no pun intended, but a stab at that topic. Apparently it upset some people, but I don't know if those are true.
I agree. I think it definitely did upset some people because some people are like, why would you joke about that? That's for people's family members. But anyways, don't want to diverge too much. Okay, so we covered where she went to high school. Okay, so what is your opinion of how she came about, her rise to fame, and what put her into the spotlight?
Well, that's why I was kind of questioning because I was trying to think back. I'm like, when was the first time I heard about Kim Kardashian? And I'm like, was it her partying with Paris Hilton or was it her sex tape with Ray J? I'm like, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
I think so. Supposedly the tape was made way before it got released, and she was a guest on The Simple Life a few times. And, of course, she's friends with Nicole Richie. So, of course, she was friends with Paris, too. And I guess when, the tape leaked, like, she sued them and then they settled and she got $5 million out of it. And then next, they had a reality TV show. But I feel like my conspiracy theory is that the reality show was already in the works, but the tape definitely,
Like,
got people interested and they knew about her. And that's definitely how I found out about Kim. I feel like she recognizes that. And I think it's definitely not something she wants to boast about or she's proud of. So I can understand why she dodges the topic a lot. But anyway,
but
so the tape came out.
I feel like she has to be a little, yeah, it sucks the situation, but I mean, that is kind of what pushed her to stardom, that's what that's why people are interested in her. So, I mean, I feel like she has to give a little bit of take to the tape for like bringing her and her family to where they are now, honestly.
Oh yeah, I think she does. And I think in the SNL her monologue she does mention it quick second. So I know she knows, but I think it's not something she would put in her Instagram bio. But
Link here.
I know. So aside from Ray J being one of her boos, did you know she also dated Nick Cannon?
Oh my god, yeah, that was interesting.
That was so random. But
Short
in an
lived though.
interview, Nick Cannon mentioned how she wanted to get a nose job because she was like, I have a bump on my nose. And he was like, why would you get a plastic surgery? Like your bump is so tiny, like no one can even see it. Anyways, which brings me to the topic. I feel like a lot of Kim's success and how she was able to maintain it is because of her beauty. Like Kim is prior to her plastic surgery, like when she first came out to the scene, when I knew her, like 2018, 29, not 2018, 2008, 2009, like she was so pretty. She wasn't the typical blonde hair, blue eyes, super stick skinny. Like she was very curvy. She was naturally curvy, and so were her sisters. So it's like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty, and she just looks different from the standard Hollywood expectations.
I was thinking like Kim is a pioneer for big booty era because during that time I remember like it would be all about like how Paris Hilton looks and like flat butts. That I remember like that was a thing where it's like skinny and like low rise was so in, and Kim changed the game with that. Like she made big booties hot, thick thighs hot, and dark hair, tanner skin, like yeah, she's a pioneer in that. So I'll give that to her.
Yes, I feel like Kim definitely had a positive influence on the beauty standards, but I think we'll talk about it a little bit later. But yes, you're right. She did make having a butt being in because I was watching Girlfriends and other old sitcoms that were based in the early 2000s, and a lot of the women were they were scared to have a big butt. They were like, "Oh my god, does my butt look big?" Now it's like everyone's trying to have a big butt. So
Yeah.
anyways, yes. So Kanye actually says that as well. He said, before the designers didn't want to style her, now it's every designer would love to style her because of her body shape, and her body shape is just a pinnacle of so much for her. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Okay. I want to talk about her marriages. Did you know she was married 3 times?
Yeah, so I remember the first time was like I don't remember who, but I remember her dad helped her to get a divorce like when she was really young. And then second is Chris Humphries, and then third is Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when she She said she was like 19 and she said she made a mistake and she got married to a producer. And one thing about divorces is that they take a long time to be finalized. So you could actually be technically legally married for years, even if you're separated, until the divorce is final. So yeah, she was married to this guy. His name was Damon Thomas. And then they got divorced in 2003. He files for divorce in 2003. That's definitely a part of her past she does not want to talk about.
I know, we rarely hear about that.
And then we go to Chris Humphries, and he was there during the epic reality moment when they were like in Bora Bora or something, and she lost her diamond earrings, and Courtney's like, Kim, there's people that are dying. And then Kylie finds the earrings.
Okay, so Chris Humphries, the popular 72-day marriage. The joke is always that the marriage was shorter than how long it took to plan the wedding. Okay, but Chris Humphries, he was a basketball player. I mean, I remember even then, like, I thought the marriage was just interesting because, like, even them on television, they didn't seem to really, like, connect to me. I don't know, like, you just can tell when people aren't, like, I mean, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But like they were pretty awkward on television. I mean, it could be just because the cameras were there and stuff. But he seemed like such a Midwestern kind of boy, like small town kind of dude, doesn't like press and stuff. And then you have Kim Kardashian. So I mean, no wonder they did not work out.
Yes. And yeah, that's why her relationship didn't work out with her previous boyfriend, Reggie Bush, the football player, because he didn't like the cameras and the glitz and the glam, but she obviously she wanted to be famous and be more well known. So like paparazzi, like you would have to deal with that if you were dating her, and he didn't like that. So they parted ways, but
I loved her with Reggie Bush. I thought they were so cute together.
right, they were so cute. They were so in love. And I remember one time, like she had like her MacBook or something, and the background was this blown up picture of her and Reggie. I think like nose kissing or something. I don't even know. Like my eye catch is the weirdest thing. And then during her interview with Jennifer Lawrence, Jennifer was like, "Isn't it weird that your ex Reggie Bush married someone who looks just like you?"
She actually asked that? Oh my God, I did not see that.
Yeah. And okay, back to Chris Humphries. That was just a disaster. But I think, Kim is a celebrity, but at the same time, she's also human. Like, she definitely felt that pressure. Like, oh my God, like, I'm almost 30. Like, I should have 2 kids by now. I should have been married. So I think there was that pressure to be married at a certain age. And also, like, I remember during the episode, she was like, yeah, my birth control just ran out. Like, do you think this is a sign for me to get pregnant with Chris? And good thing they didn't have a kid together, because I don't think the co-parenting would have been that beautiful.
I know, they're just so different. And I remember like when rumors were coming out that like, oh, this marriage was only for press and stuff for Chris Humphries to like get more popular or whatever. But I mean, they both have said on their end that they thought that they were in a marriage that was gonna last. Like I'm pretty sure I do believe that they probably just felt the pressure, just there being their age and like people probably surrounding them like, hey, when is it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? Like I'm sure she felt that, and then they both did, and then that's why that happened. Like, so I totally believe it was not for publicity. Like, and just his personality doesn't seem like he wants publicity.
I remember like after the wedding, I think she was sleeping. I don't know if it was his house or her house, but obviously like they didn't cohabitate together, so they just wouldn't mesh well together living, because like he wants the dog to sleep on the bed and she doesn't want the dog to sleep on the bed. And she's like, these are like 600 count bed sheets, and they just were not compatible, and that's unfortunate. But on to the next marriage. Kanye West, when so they've been longtime friends, right? But where were you when you found out they were dating?
Oh my God. I don't even remember when I found out they were dating. I remember an episode when I think he asked her out. And then like, but I remember in like, those talking heads, she was just like, oh, like he's just a friend. But I remember like Kanye was super like into her, like eyeing her across the room. Like I forgot where they were, but it was probably had something to do with fashion. But I do not remember when they. I mean, I'm sure when I heard, I'm not surprised. Where were you?
God, where was I? Oh my God, I think I was still in high school, and I think them coming together was just like, I feel like really elevated the family to be like on a different celebrity level, because Kanye is very well established. He's very respected at that time, and he was one of like the biggest rappers, and also he was like getting his foot in the door with fashion and being at these fashion shows, befriending designers. And I think the relationship is just so iconic in a way, because Kanye loves himself so much, and for him to find someone who loves just as much was just like, wow. Their children are beautiful. I think as time went on, I feel like the differences, even though they're very much alike, they're also different at the same time. And I think as time went on, I think their differences unraveled and they just kind of like grew apart.
Oh my God, the jokes that she made on SNL about him, where
Yes.
he's like, oh, he's rich and powerful and blah blah blah. So what it really came down to for the divorce was his personality. I was like, damn, even taking jobs at a divorce, which of course I guess is expected, but that was a pretty funny joke.
I kind of looked forward to their relationship because like Kanye is so extra and extravagant, and the things he would do for Kim on Valentine's Day, Mother's Day was just like, wow. Like one time, I don't know if it was Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, but she like came downstairs and there was a whole orchestra playing music. And that one time when he bought her so many stocks of Apple and Disney, I think.
Was it the proposal, the one on the baseball field or something?
Yes.
That was
Yes.
pretty epic.
Yeah. And all of her family knew, and she almost didn't go. She was like, I feel sick. Like, I don't want to go out. And she ended up getting proposed with a huge, gigantic ring. And
Well, I mean, it's good to hear though that they're gonna really try and be civil and co-parent. Like they were seen grabbing dinner or something like not too long ago, and I mean, people were like speculating like, oh, they're back together, but sources are saying that they're just trying to like figure out what to do for the kids and try to work that out.
oh, it's going to be interesting to see who she dates in the future and how much we'll know and how much we'll see of them and the interactions. But anyway, let's talk about the beauty side of Kim Kardashian,
Oh,
because
businesses.
both.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because she has been making money off of her looks. Like when she first became famous, like she was working like almost every day of the year. Like remember she did a commercial for Carl's Jr. She had all these perfumes, and now she has her own brand where she makes her like legit own perfumes versus like partnering with a company. So I feel like Kim is just like one of the beauty icons, whether we want to like put her into the space or not, because there's so many people who want to look like her. Like they want to know the makeup that she's wearing. They want to know like who's her plastic surgeon, who,
People who do look like her.
yes, scary enough. Remember like Jonathan, her bestie and food god, was like hanging out with a lookalike, and then
Yeah.
Kim met her.
Yeah, like that is just so freaky. Like I wonder how that is to like just see people who look like you like everywhere, really. And like that's a bunch of Instagram models honestly like look like Kim and Kylie everywhere.
Yes.
But yeah, so KKW came about in 2017, and that was, I mean, the start of her beauty business. Like she was already making strides in beauty, but that's when she started making some real money.
Yeah, and apparently Kim is a billionaire. All of her assets are valued, added up together to make her a billionaire. But here's the thing. I refuse to buy anything from her just because it's like my money for her would just be a drop in the bucket, when I feel like my money could be very substantial to a smaller business. But okay, besides that, I went to Nordstrom's the other day and I saw Skims there, and I took one of her little thongs, and whoa, that thing stretched a yard. I was like, whoa, what is this material?
I hear
Just the
so many
thong
good things
too.
about Skims, dude. Like, I don't wanna buy Skims because she don't need my money. But I have to say, I'm very curious. I hear such good things, and they honestly look good to me. But I won't. I refuse.
I think my best friend bought it, and I was like, wow. I knew that Nordstrom had her line online. I saw it, but then when I saw it in person, I was like, wow. She's taken over the world.
Yeah, it was supposed to be named Kimono.
I know, that was another scandal.
I mean, I wonder like how she thought she was, how no one on her team thought that would be like. I just don't know how it got that far without someone saying something.
Yeah, I think that goes back to our last episode, the importance of diversity. It's like if you don't have everyone there with all the different perspectives, like you're going to share the same perspective and just be like ignorant of what's actually problematic and what's not. So, okay, so with her beauty, I feel like her coming out with makeup wasn't shocking. I think her footprint on the beauty industry is just so substantial that I'm just like, oh my God. Like, Kim, there's so much to dissect on her. It's going to take like multiple episodes, but we're going to try to do it in one. The main thing that I kind of like dislike about her is that she gets a lot of plastic surgery, but she doesn't admit to it, and it's just like so frustrating because I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, okay, so I mentioned earlier that Kim was a pioneer, and I mean, love that because she definitely had a different look. But I mean, as time goes on, like she kind of made it the only look, and I feel like that's the standard that she sets for like her brand and like her followers and such. She doesn't promote like looking different. Like I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but like it's pretty much just her look is the look, and that's what you get, and that's why so many people look like her. Like she needs to be promoting like, okay, like different skin colors. I mean, that's why she was getting hated on even for like blackface, because she was darkening her promotional photos. And I mean, you could see it in the evidence when you look at like 2007 photos and 2017 photos. Like she's so tan. She needs to do a little more talking about what she stands for instead of just like putting it out there and getting all the money. Like, I don't know, there just needs to be a little bit more to her, more depth to her beauty and her style. Like it just seems so one-sided, I guess, if I'm making any sense.
Yes, I definitely think like because of the money that she has accumulated from promoting her makeup, doing all these deals, her Macy's clothing fashion line and whatnot, and currently Skims, it's like, okay, like let's be a little bit more conscious, kind of like her sisters, like the effect that you have by selling certain products. Like you're pushing this kind of like ideology, like, hey, if you buy this eyeshadow palette, you could look like me. Like that's the kind of image. It's like, oh, if you buy my what's it called, her shapewear, like you could look like my body. And it's just like, okay, that's very unrealistic and just unhealthy. And I just wish she would like just come clean, saying like, you guys, like I've gotten a lot of plastic surgery, like I don't look like this naturally, and I didn't get this way by promoting these diet lollipops or these protein smoothies. But at the same time, I feel like her admitting it might drive plastic surgery to go up, because there's these young people, they'll look at pictures and they're like, I want to look like her, and it's like, why do you want to look like her?
Yeah, like why is it so difficult for them to just admit what they get done? And this brings me back to another SNL joke where she talks about how she's the reference that her sisters give to their plastic surgeons. Like, so I mean, obviously, like, and that's low-key admitting that everyone's getting plastic surgery. So just like be straight up and tell people, like, instead of saying like, oh, we work hard to look the way we look. It's like, no, you have the money to pay for these things to look the way that you look. Be a little more honest. Be a little more real.
Exactly. I think, yeah, and I feel like Kim's brand, I feel like what would she lose if she admitted to having plastic surgery? Like, what are you going to lose? Like, people being disappointed or people being shocked? Like, I don't think anyone would be shocked if she admitted that she got plastic surgery. And she's so interesting because it's like a lot of people dislike her for very valid reasons. And it's like it's so easy to hate her. And then I kind of like want to turn the focus to like the people who love her. And I think it's kind of like, okay, we got to be like her sign. We got to be Libra. Look at the good and bad. Like, where's the justice? Because I remember Demi Lovato saying in an interview saying that Kim like made them more confident because like she's so curvy, and then the influence of the curves, people having more range of sizes, and Kim's Skims has like a big range of sizes. So I feel like there's a lot to unravel with this.
But when I think of like Kim stuff, I don't even think about. So, for instance, when I think Savage X Fenty, I think about different body sizes and like loving your body. Like that is what I feel when I think Savage X Fenty. When I think like Kim's brand, I'm thinking, okay, just big butts and like skinny waist. There's a certain image I get when I think that, and an image when I think Savage X Fenty.
That is a very good point. That's a good point. Kim is like the slim thick, like thick but perfect thick, where Savage X Fenty is very much more real and raw and edited and unsurgerized. So it's very interesting. Okay. If you had the opportunity to meet Kim, would you?
I mean, I want to say yes. Even though I feel like this was kind of, I was talking negatively about her when it comes to like beauty and stuff, I still think she's a badass woman who like she's a businesswoman, and I mean she's still idolized and she has her shit taken care of. And I think there's definitely something that you could learn from her. She knows a thing or two, is what I'm saying. And I definitely would love to hang out with her and just kind of like pick at her brain and the like business side of things, and like just her lifestyle. I'm sure is just so crazy that I would just want to like just take a peek into her world. So yeah, I would love to meet Kim Kardashian.
Same. All the blogs I've been reading, they say that Kim is one of the nicest celebrities out there. Like, everyone who meets her says she's so sweet. And I feel like that's one thing you can't take away from a person is like if you trash talk them and they're so nice to you, it kind of makes you like, maybe I'll change my opinion on them. So I feel like I would love to hang out with her for the same reasons as you, to pick her brain. And I don't know why this is just like so weird and feels like TMI, but I remember this one episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, like a recent one too, like within the last 2 seasons. She's like, "Oh my God, I just took a number 2 and it smelled so bad."
Oh, what the heck?
It's just like, oh my gosh. Gee, thanks for showing us your human side, but also at the same time, her butt is so big. Like, how does she poop? Like, do they have special huge toilets or something? Like, how does her ass fit on a toilet?
Yeah,
Are her legs in the air?
Does she always sleep on her stomach? Like, I don't know. That thing is for sure fake. I just remember this one TikTok where someone was like putting her, she was jumping off a boat and they put it in slow motion and her butt was like going the other direction. And they're all like, this is not a real butt. They're all like, a real butt would not be going in the other side or something like that. But I mean, I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We're talking about how does she poop. Okay, if you got a chance to interview Kim, like what you said, to pick her brain, what are 3 questions you have to ask if given the opportunity?
Do you have these? Do you have your questions already?
No, I don't really have my questions. I'm trying to think of her interviews. I feel like she's definitely been media trained, so she speaks way better and a little bit more eloquently. I think she's preparing for her lawyer days. But I think for her, I would try to ask probably like introspective and very deep questions, is besides like, oh, what is one thing that you do that people want to expect of you? I would say like, what is one thing you think about that you wish you didn't think about? It's like, I wonder like what her insecurities are, and like, I don't know, her philosophical thoughts.
Like, what, does she live by or something?
She is a Christian.
I think I would actually, it would be a question for her. It would be for her assistant. I would like to see Kim's schedule. Like, I'm so curious what her schedule looks like. I mean, I'm sure it changes weekly, but I just want to see like a week's worth of her schedule and just see like what she has planned. Like, I'm so curious how celebrities day to day looks like, and hers is definitely one of them I would want to see.
I would want to know, does she use a water pick or paper floss or cloth floss? I don't know why I'm so interested in that, but I feel like she has great teeth. And do you remember when she, on the show, she was like, I can smell if someone has a cavity?
What the heck? That's so weird.
Yes. So I remember she like hugged Lamar and she's like, I can smell like you have cavities. So she took him to her dentist, and her dentist is pretty famous too. But yeah, okay, that was definitely not like a deep or philosophical question to ask him, but I feel like that's just like something that's for my personal self. But I think I would ask her like what challenges does she face? So it'd be interesting to see what she defines as a challenge and also like how does she handle them.
You saw the SNL monologue, right?
Yes, and the pink velvet.
Oh my god, that's just like her thing now, where she just covers her whole body. But I mean, I guess it's cool because you kind of just like now focus on her face and what she says. But I just watched it yesterday because I did yeah, I haven't seen it since yesterday, and I just wanted to dissect it a little bit. But the jab at Corey for being a gold digger, I thought that was hilarious because I mean, it's what we're all thinking about. I wonder if Mama Chris like approved of this before like talking about it, but I thought that was just hilarious. And like we mentioned earlier, the OJ thing, like that was pretty epic for her to talk about just because they never talk about it. I mentioned the reference photo about that her sisters used when they go to their plastic surgeons. Oh, how like I forgot what the line was, but she said how her mom didn't see Caitlyn coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like to bring them up, I feel like that's also taboo. No one wants to talk about that. And also, I mean, let's remember, like, I'm sure Chris knew about Caitlyn happening. Like, she has to have known before Vanity Fair came out. Anyways, and then when she said the line, "I'm not running for president. We can't have 3 failed politicians in this family," I thought was hilarious. And oh, and I mentioned earlier how she divorced Kanye because of his personality. I thought this monologue was just so perfect for her. And whoever wrote it, like, you need a raise or a gift basket or something. Like that this monologue was just too good. I thought she delivered well. And yeah, I just loved it so much.
Yes. I like the part where she said, I'm a Kim, not a Karen.
Mhm.
But okay, I have a question. I was like, who are the 3 failed politicians in? Oh wait, never mind, never mind. I just answered my own question because Caitlyn failed to run as governor, and then Kanye attempted to run for president.
Yeah.
So okay, she would have been the 3rd failed one. Okay, anyways, I watched the skit where she was with Pete Davidson, and of course she's not an actress. Her timing was a little fast, like she just kept moving from line to line, and she would never make eye contact with Pete Davidson. She kept looking like elsewhere. But her and Pete kissed, so I was just like, oh my god, she's single.
Oh my gosh, she gonna be stigmatized by the Pete Davidson. You know, he has something about him.
And it's funny because that skit, he asked the genie to make his schlong a little bit longer.
Oh my god, I need to watch. I haven't watched any of the skits she's been in yet.
Yeah, I just watched her monologue. But can you imagine if Pete Davidson dated Kim Kardashian? That would just be absolutely wild to me. I would be like, that's a pop culture moment.
She would break
Moment.
like she's like got such a big ass booty, and then he's just so skinny. Like I cannot imagine. I know that she would break him.
That is very true. I'm like, dude, her butt is so big. Oh my goodness. And my conspiracy theory is that she's been so covered up. It's because she's probably like recovering or going through surgery or something. And after post surgery, you have a lot of bruises. So I was like, is that why? That's my little unfounded, unresearched conspiracy theory.
Well, didn't you say she was gonna get a butt reduction?
No, I think she is. And I think when you get a butt reduction, I feel like her butt surgeries have not been tasteful. They've been really big. But I think when it comes to reduction, I think that one you have to do it a little bit slower. Otherwise, the volume's not going to look right. I feel like reduction just takes time. Because I think if you just take out half the butt away, there's going to be like saggy skin and
Oh yeah.
yeah.
See, what if she's in the process?
Yeah,
That's
let's
like
check.
a tight suit to like keep everything in.
I know. I'm like, okay, you guys, let's check in a year or two, and we gotta see if her butt got any smaller. I'm sure her butt is gonna be big still. Like, it's not gonna be like super small or anything. I'm sure she's still gonna have a booty, but it's not gonna be like the orbit is gonna be much smaller. The parameter reduced.
She can't be knocking things off the desk in the courtroom, you know?
Okay, what else to talk about, Kim? Okay. We said a lot like her background, who she dated, her rise to fame, her marriages, her influence on the beauty industry, which I think it's going to continue. Like Kim is such a staple and an icon, like a staple in surgery, consultation rooms, such an icon. I feel like so many people try to copy her looks after she starts doing it. Like the big concealer, the banana powder, and now like the nude lip and just like the what's it called? The soft glam look and the sleek ponytail.
See, all of these are just so like associated with Kim.
Yes, she's a trendsetter. Definitely. I feel like she even calls out Fashion Nova and other companies like, oh, here is like an unreleased like Yeezy dress or something. Like, don't freaking make this and sell this. And next thing you know, like 30 minutes later, Fashion Nova has it for sale already.
Wait, weren't they Fashion Nova ambassadors before?
I don't know. I feel like Kylie, yes.
Oh, okay.
Kylie for sure. And I remember one time, like Kim did an interview with Ashley Graham, and she said a wannabe Yeezy wanted to sponsor her and send her clothes, and Kanye was like, "Please don't do that because it looks like Yeezy." I'm very paraphrasing right now, but he's like, "Don't do it," like blah blah blah. But she was like, "But it's $1 million," like. So she didn't do it, and then I think for Mother's Day or something for her birthday, Kanye wrote her a check for $1 million, and then he also gave her ownership in part of Yeezy. He's like, "Thank you for not taking that deal."
Wow, not writing a check for $1 million.
I know. Like that is just so crazy. That's why I'm like I'm gonna miss them being together because their antics. I feel it's just him. It's just him. It's like, what is he gonna do next for Kim in his music? A tweet. Like we just don't know what's gonna happen. And then
What is Kim gonna do next? Like with her and like her trying to get serious with becoming a lawyer, right?
mhm.
Yeah, and who she's gonna date next, we'll see.
Mhm.
But I mean, I'm sure we'll be talking about her again and again and again.
You guys don't worry. This episode it was very condensed. We try to put in a lot of information, and I know we missed out on a lot, but you guys, Kim is. I will say it. She's a mogul. She's a mogul.
And on that note, thanks for listening. Please subscribe.
Thanks, guys.